At the beginning, greetings to all of you present here. I announce that all the exchanges here are being filmed, and those who don't want to be filmed, please let us know. Regretfully, our story was a poem sung unfaithfully by your soldiers who were coming back from the conquest of the fortress of the horse. Wait and see what will happen to you under the curse of hell, because all those mothers in black who are mourning the most beautiful children of sun and wind are still praying. I have to we have to remember that this year is the 15th anniversary of the Constitution of the International Criminal Court. We just left a session that was considering the work of this court in the past 15 years. Many of the friends who are present here were also present in the previous session. We are happy that here today we are remembering the 25th anniversary of the 1988 massacre of political prisoners by the Islamic Republic. We can see that our session is somehow in continuity with the previous session that was focusing on the International Criminal Court. And the statute of the court focuses on preventing impunity for criminals against humanity. I should mention that Mrs. Pillai, in the first day of opening of the 24th session of Human Rights Council here in Geneva, the headquarters of the European headquarters of the United Nations Organization, emphasized a point that I will attract your attention to: the massacre of almost 52 inhabitants of Ashraf camp in Iraq. With regard to this patent satisfaction of Islamic Republic from this tragedy, makes everyone think that the regime has played a role in this massacre. More than 30 years of assassinations and state murder and torture inside and outside the country has been ongoing. But what's more important is that our demand for justice is also ongoing, parallel to these crimes. And the regime cannot stop this quest for justice. That's why today in view of the importance of the International Criminal Court and the International Tribunal for Iran that has had 2 sessions in London and in Hague, and has issued for the first time a precise sentence on part of the crimes committed by the Islamic Republic against humanity. We have invited the persons who organized this tribunal, including the witnesses and the victims who participated in the sessions of the court, to speak to us and report what has happened in those sessions of the court. Thanks to all the friends who accepted our invitation. And I asked them to start their speeches. First, Mr. Mokhtar Shalalvand, political prisoner under the Shah, and one of the witnesses of the Iran tribunal. The brother of Hamza Shalalvand, who was executed, and the Iranian political activist. Go ahead, Mr. Shalalvand. میکروفون لطفاً روشن کنید. Please turn on the microphone.
وقتی که 31 سال پیش
when 31 years ago
از دبیرستان‌های شهر کوچک اندیمشک
I was a high school teacher in the small city of Andimeshk. I participated in one of the side events of the United Nations in this same place. I was accompanied by Mr. Kazem Rajavi and Dr. Matin Daftari, and I didn't imagine that sometime later I will have to ask for justice for the murder of Kazem Rajavi, who was assassinated here in Geneva near United Nations. It was not long afterwards that I was informed that my brother has been executed. He was held in prison in Iran. Now it has been 31 years now that we have been demanding justice. As an impartial witness of the massacre in Ashraf, who were in a third country, in Iraq, and they were refugees in that country. 52 persons were killed and 7 persons have been taken hostage. Those murderers and those killers of prisoners are still active in the Islamic Republic. We cannot conclude to anything else but this. And they are still performing their religious duties. Although Nayeri and Mustafa Ashraqi and Ibrahim Raisi were all on the death board, and Mustafa Mohammadi, who is today a minister in Rouhani's government and who was the representative of the Ministry of Information at the time, they are still alive and they are still continuing their activity. And the massacre that happened in Ashraf proves that they are still active and they are still killing people.
پیگیری حقوقی اسیرکشی که در زندان‌های ایران صورت گرفت
Hence, our
ضروری به نظر می‌رسد.
quest for justice about the massacre of prisoners in Iran seems more necessary than ever today. What happened in the summer of 1988 is still unknown to many international legal fora. The massacre of 4,000 political prisoners who were spending their prison term because of their dissidence. While they were already condemned to prison terms, if this is not a massacre and not a crime against humanity, how can this be qualified? It's very necessary to find an answer to this question at this moment. And maybe we have to find a new legal term to describe this.
و به دنبال این حقایق هست که خانواده‌های جانباختگان
On the basis of these informations, the families of those who lost their lives, they try to find a solution themselves, and that's how they constituted the popular Iran tribunal, which issued a clear sentence of condemnation of the Islamic Republic and as responsible for crime against humanity and massacre. So these files are still open, these cases are still open. We haven't reached any conclusion in our quest for justice, yes. All the cases that are open in international tribunals have not carried any conclusions. If the cry of prisoners for justice, the call for justice had been heard in 1988, maybe they wouldn't have killed the members of the Fadai group after killing the members of MKO. The mothers and the families who are heirs of lost bodies and unknown cemeteries throughout Iran.
من مختار شلالوند هستم، برادر حمزه شلالوند.
I'm Mokhtar Shalalvand, Hamza Shalalvand's brother, one of the members of the partisans of MKO. Right after the revolution,
به روی خرابه‌های خانه بازمانده‌ای از شهدای دوران سلطنت شاه به جا مونده بود، کتابخونه بنا کرده بودن و ساخته بودن.
A library was built with the help of the people. They had built a library. One Friday, the Friday prayer imam sent some of the thugs to attack this library, and people defended the place. Hamza was not arrested that day, but he never came back home. At the end of 1981, he was recognized near Tehran train station, and he was imprisoned in Evin and Ghazal Hazar and Gohar Dasht. He was condemned to 10 years of imprisonment. After 7 years of imprisonment, he was tried for second time and he was executed. I was not there, but my family was never informed that he was in prison at the beginning. Until after looking for many years for information and asking the authorities for information many times, they were informed. The trials that were conducted upon the order of Ayatollah Khomeini, after the acceptance of the Security Council Resolution 567, they were tried and massacred. There was a written order to this effect. At this moment, they started cutting all the visits of the prisoners, and all the newspapers were withdrawn, and the TVs and everything. And then they tried for a second time the prisoners. According to the numbers disclosed by Khomeini's own deputy at the time, Mr. Montazeri, at least 4,000 persons were executed, while researchers and international organizations have other estimations. As a result of the pressure exercised by the families, including my family, one day they told my mother, go and send us a man from your family. She says that I don't have a man in my family. My brother has been executed and I have no other man. And then they give her a bag with some underwear and a trainer inside it and a handcraft that I can show you. This is the prayer for the new year, which is the red brodery on a white cloth. That was all the wealth that we inherited from Hamza. And we are still looking for justice.